Hey y'all, I'm Nina and welcome back to my kitchen here at Need More Time. Today I want to share with you one of my kids' favorite recipes. Other than using the Instant Pot for a lot of my cooking, the next easiest recipe I think are casseroles. You know, because you just put everything in one dish, throw it in the oven, bam. Even if it takes a while to cook, at least it's hands-off cooking time so you can get other stuff done. So I'm a real fan of casseroles. This particular one is a creamy hash brown casserole. The recipe I found calls for jalapeno peppers and chili peppers, which my kids are not spicy fans. So by all means, if you are, definitely throw those in there. Instead, what I do is just sub out and use mixed veggies. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so of course the first step in a hash brown casserole is getting our potatoes ready. If you're in a super rush or just don't feel like peeling your own potatoes, don't have a food processor, then I highly suggest getting these Simply potatoes. They're just shredded fresh potatoes. You get them over by where the eggs and the dairy is usually. You'd need about 2.5 bags of these. I use them when I'm in a super hurry. They're great for making hash browns. So don't feel bad just getting some of these if you want to be super quick. If you do have a food processor, then shredding your own potatoes is honestly not too time consuming. So I'm just going to go ahead right now and shred my potatoes. I have 3 pounds of gold potatoes here. I've just washed them. You can peel them, but honestly I usually don't. There's nutrition in the peel, so a lot of recipes when they ask you to peel them, I think it's honestly just for visual purposes. So if you don't really care about the peel in your casserole dish, then I just suggest leaving them on, plus it's faster. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now. All right, so there you go. See how quick that was? All right, so here are all our hash browns. I'm going to go ahead and just pour them in my casserole dish. I have this really big casserole dish that I like using. I actually originally bought it for a lasagna because every time I made lasagnas, I put them in those typical 9x13 Pyrex dishes that I have, and it's always bubbling over top, oozing out. They never seem to fit in there. So I spent a lot of time on Amazon one night trying to find one with deeper dimensions, and this one is much deeper. It's amazing, and I'll put a link to it in the description. It was a little expensive, but definitely worth it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just go ahead and make our sauce. Everything goes right in the blender, so it'll be super easy. Okay, so now that we have our hash browns peeled, or I'm sorry, not peeled. Now that we have them shredded, I'm going to go ahead and make the sauce. Sauce is super easy. I've got my Vitamix blender here. First step is to add 2 cups of water. Then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. As far as seasonings go, we have 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 1 tablespoon of sea salt. It sounds like a lot of salt, but it's really not based on how many potatoes there are. I honestly don't suggest skimping on the salt because your potatoes are just not going to taste good if you don't have enough salt in there. So 1 casserole dish with more than a teaspoon or so of salt is not going to kill you. All right, so we've got that in there, and also 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. I love this stuff. It adds a lot of flavor to food, so try it out. I get this on Amazon. And then lastly, what's going to make our sauce creamy are some cashews and white beans. The recipe calls for all cashews, but a little trick I found over the years with cooking with cashews in creamy sauces. Cashews is what makes the sauce creamy, but when you blend beans, it also has a creamy texture. So to cut down on the cost, because cashews are extremely expensive, as well as cutting down the fat, I always do half cashews, half white beans. So we're going to be, for this recipe, we're using 3/4 cups of cashews and 3/4 cup of white navy beans. And I get my cashews at Costco. These ones are organic and I find them to be competitively priced. So check those out if you are at Costco. All right, so we're just going to turn this on and you just want to blend it until completely smooth. If you don't have a high-speed blender, then soaking your cashews overnight would be my suggestion, because it makes them super sauce and they will blend in perfectly and you won't have to worry about any graininess in your sauce. Alright, double check our sauce. Looks good. Just gonna scrape down the sides. One time here. And then put it on for another few seconds or so. Alright, so that should do it. Now all we have to do is go ahead and pour it on our, just pour it all over your hash browns. And then lastly, I'm going to mix in 3 cups of thawed frozen veggies. I have a mixture here of, let's see here, we have peas, corn, carrots, and green beans. Use whatever your kids like. You want this to be a fun dinner and not one where hopefully one of your kids is picking out the peas or the carrots. It always seems like, you know, you've got one kid who doesn't like one veggie, one who likes another. No one can ever agree, right? My kids are actually pretty good about these veggies, so hopefully we'll have everybody enjoying this meal tonight. All right, so that's it. Everything is mixed in, like so. Now we're just gonna go ahead and put it in the oven. Before I started cooking everything, I set my my oven to 350, so please, I forgot to mention that earlier. Don't forget to preheat your oven. Now I've got it at 350 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and put it in for about 1 hour and 15 minutes. So it does take a while to bake, but at least it's hands-off time. So just if you want to make this a course, plan accordingly. But it's super quick to put together. All right? All right, y'all, so the casserole is now done. I've just taken it out of the oven. It's been in there for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Go ahead and just with a clean fork, take a bite. Make sure the potatoes are fully cooked through. Yeah, they're cooked through. A little hot, but they were definitely cooked through. So anyway, it's all finished. You can see the tops of the potatoes are nicely browned. When you first put in the sauce, you will notice it was super runny. Don't be alarmed if it's super runny. That is how it's supposed to be. Now that the casserole is finished cooking, you'll see that it's no longer runny. The sauce is thickened up and it's just a perfect consistency now. So I suggest serving this with a nice big side salad, and it'll be a perfectly hearty, healthy meal for your family. Please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to doing another video for you soon. See y'all later.